Everyone, it's Monday at GazWeatherVids.com, and you know one thing, yep, it's Europe Day. Every Monday at GazWeatherVids, we have a look at the weather for the coming week across the continent, and today is no exception. Actually, we didn't do it last week because it was the bank holiday weekend. I do give myself bank holiday Mondays off, so this is the first one for a couple of weeks. Looks like I've got a pretty warm week coming up across many parts of the continent this week, but there will be more heavy showers and thunderstorms around Europe. Later on in the week, we could get a real plume coming up across the west and central parts of Europe. Could be some big thunderstorms around them. We'll have a look at the charts in a moment, though. Before I get on with the European outlook, just want to mention the advertising in this video ads to my pages at GazWeatherVids.com. Hit play on the video ad, you'll be supporting GazWeatherVids.com. Thanks very much for doing that. The website we're using is westcentral.de. You can find a link to it on my links page. So let's get on with the week ahead forecast for Europe, and here we go with today's not too pressure chart. Got high pressure up over Scandinavia, stretching back in towards western parts of Russia. Also got the high pressure trying to ridge in from the Azores in towards Spain and Portugal. In between, pressure is rather weak across really from Ireland, the British Isles down through France into central and southeast Europe. We've got pretty weak pressure around, so consequently there is going to be quite a lot of showers around. If you have a look at the upper air temperatures, it's pretty warm scene, not desperately hot away from central parts of Spain, of course down across North Africa and coming into southeast Europe, generally through Mediterranean. It's a pretty hot scene, I have to say, but generally it's warm, on the warm side, warmer than average, many parts of the continent, but not yet desperately hot. Now here's the showers that we've got across many parts of Central Europe, really stretching from the British Isles and Ireland through France into the Low Countries through Germany, over the Alps in towards southeastern parts of Europe, around the Balkans, going down in towards Romania, and then going northwards up into northeast Europe. We've got some heavy showers and thunderstorms up there, mainly dry and about high pressure over Scandinavia, pretty dry through the Mediterranean, although there could be some thunderstorm perhaps kicking off over parts of North Africa, quite unusually. Convective potential today, we have got some convective potential out in the west through central parts of Europe, but the highest risk of convection is actually up in the northeast around western parts of Russia. So it's hot up in the northeast, you can't really see it that well, but the edge of the heat wave is just there to the far northeast, the far top right as you're looking at it. That's where the heat wave is, up towards the northeast of Europe. Elsewhere, as I say, it's a pretty warm scene. Temperatures are above average into the low to mid-20s for many parts, but not desperately hot away from the northeast and away from the Mediterranean. Go through the middle of the week, high pressure is stretched out from Scandinavia into western Russia. Still, low pressure is coming in off the Atlantic, so it's unsettled for the British Isles and all parts of France as well. Pressure is pretty high, though, midweek through the Mediterranean. Heat really starting to build down over Spain and Portugal, so temperatures will be heading up, perhaps in towards the mid-30s for parts of Spain by the middle of the week. That's into the 90s Fahrenheit. Pretty warm across many central east parts of Europe, although it is cooler out to the west and the northwest. Have a look at the precipitation through the middle of the week. Heavy rain is coming through Ireland and the British Isles. It's going down into France, around the Low Countries, into western parts of Germany, and over the Alps as well. Some heavy rain, maybe some thunderstorms mixed in. Mainly dry though through the Mediterranean, so it'll be hot and sunny through Spain and Portugal, hot and sunny as well through Corsica, Sardinia, and going on into the bulk of Italy, away from the higher ground, mainly hot and dry. But as you hop over the Adriatic, I should say, also true over the Alps as well, heavy showers over the Alps. But if you hop over the Adriatic into the Balkans and southeast Europe, there'll be some heavy showers and thunderstorms kicking off there, and going up towards the northeast, again a lot of showers, and more showers breaking out over Scandinavia as well, so that start of the week doesn't last. Convective potential is particularly through central and eastern parts of Europe through the middle of the week, although all places have a risk of some convection away from the Mediterranean. Having a look at the temperatures, it's pretty cool in the west. British Isles, Ireland and France going to be below average down into the mid-teens, but really from Germany eastwards, it's a warm scene with temperatures into the mid to upper 20s, and you can't see it that well, but across central parts of Spain the heat will really be building, possibly going up to around the mid-30s. that heat could start to push northwards as we go through into the end of the week. Got this area of low pressure out in the Atlantic, and start to pull in southerly winds, and that could start to bring that heat up from Spain and Portugal into France in particular, possibly getting up towards southern parts of England. Pressure is getting higher, I think, across eastern and northeastern parts, although it is pretty slack. Look at the heat really pushing northwards at the end of the week, so hot air coming out of Spain and Portugal in towards France, warming up in towards British Isles as well. That heat going into the Low Countries, possibly getting into Germany as well. A proper plume of hot air really coming out of North Africa at the end of the week. Here's the precipitation moment, so this could be giving thunder stretched out from Portugal through the Bay of Biscay in towards northern parts of France and on into Britain and Ireland. As that pushes eastwards through into Friday and Saturday, Friday night into Saturday, gives a big thunderstorm across parts of France. We'll get the convective potential on Friday over France. Really high rates of convection. There's uncertainty about this. I have to emphasise that it's not a certain picture. This, but it does look as though there was a big thunderstorm breaking out across France at the end of the week, possibly getting up in towards the British Isles as well. High convective potential also for eastern and northeastern parts of Europe as well. Here's the temperature, the heat really building at the end of the week. So we go up to 31, 32 degrees across many parts of France, going in towards Germany and the Low Countries as well, around Holland and Belgium. Going to be some really big temperatures at the end of the week, getting up towards the upper 80s Fahrenheit for quite a few places. Doesn't really show the heat getting into the British Isles and Ireland, but it's close. I mean, it's a hot scene in the east and the northeast as well, so things really warming up across Europe as we go through to the end of the week. And then into next weekend, that heat will be pushed eastwards, I think, in central parts of Europe as this low pressure feeds in cooler, fresher air into west and the northwest of the Atlantic. So there's the heat pushing eastwards in central and eastern parts of Europe. Plume is going through Germany in towards Poland as we get through towards next weekend, also going up in towards Scandinavia as well. As it turns a little bit cooler and fresher out to the far west and northwest, but more heat really pulling up out of North Africa in central parts of the Mediterranean at the next weekend. So this is the week where summer really starts to kick in, I think, across many parts of Europe. The thundery breakdown is pushing eastwards into Germany, although it's not that active, to be honest. It's cooler and fresher with showers in the northwest. It's mostly dry and hot through the Mediterranean, and then going into the East Europe, we still have both showers and thunderstorms. Convective potential shows the convection is really from the east. There's lots of it about as we go through towards next weekend. So it's from Germany eastwards into eastern and northeast Europe. Look at the heat across Germany next weekend. Could be up to 32, 33 degrees. That's into the 90s Fahrenheit. That heat will be spreading eastwards all the time. It's a little bit cooler for Ireland, United Kingdom and parts of France, but more heat is building through the Med, a hot scene through the Mediterranean. So this, as I say, is the week where summer's really kicking in across many parts of the continent. It's going to be a very exciting week. We're going to have our first plume, I think, coming up at the end of the week, turning most of Europe hot, but also the risk of big thunderstorms. So a very interesting week coming up. Summer really kicking in. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.